Welcome to this new lecture. I'm Federica Vacca, Associate Professor at the School of Design of Politecnico di Milano, where I teach in the Fashion Design program. The aim of this lecture is to investigate the concept of heritage, indeed as an active resource which, if properly and continuously integrated into the managerial and design processes, contributes to the construction of the company's brand identity through different directions that make heritage a real asset of uniqueness and authenticity for the company itself. First of all, we will introduce a definition of heritage brand. In this regard, there is an interesting research carried out by the scholars Hurde, Grazer, and Bellner that in 2007 wrote an article titled Corporate Brands with a Heritage. The authors define heritage as a part of the corporate brand identity that consists in the enhancement of the company history, longevity, core values, and iconic codes as an element of brand differentiation. In other words, heritage brands is the one with a value proposition and a positioning based on their heritage. In the fashion sector, brands such as Chanel, Bulgari, Hermès, just to name a few, are not only brands with a heritage, thus with a history or a specific tradition, but they are mainly heritage brands because they have chosen to emphasize their own history and values as a key component of their brand identity and positioning. So, what does heritage mean for a company? As discussed so far, the recovery and incorporation of heritage and know-how in designs and narratives have made products and practices culturally significant because able to relate them to future behaviors or lifestyle, incorporating these unique values into future generations and making heritage a living cultural heritage. A paradigmatic example in the fashion field is the Italian brand Salvatore Ferragamo. The heritage-based strategy of the brand, on the one hand, is oriented in underlining the symbolic dimension of design, products and practices. In fact, in 1995, Ferragamo has invested in the creation and valorization of its archive, opening the corporate museum in Florence in order to celebrate the company's core business linked to the figure of the Hollywood shoemaker to the star, Salvatore Ferragamo. The museum is strategically located in the same building of the flagship store in Florence in order to enhance the iconic dimension of Ferragamo production and its brand awareness. Moreover, the brand has recently launched Ferragamo's Creations, an exclusive, limited and numbered line of shoes and bags that updates some of the brand's most iconic products coming from its archive. All the models are made entirely by hand using original constructions, leathers and shapes. They are presented in elegant, exclusive packaging and accompanied by a certificate of authenticity describing the history and unique characteristics of the product acquired. Therefore, the symbolic dimension of heritage becomes a vehicle for the brand to transfer value and create legacy with its audience. The main values in this strategy is to demonstrate the originality and value of a story that, despite having its roots in the past, demonstrate continuity with the present and look to the future with the same devotion and commitment, guaranteeing quality and authenticity of a company production. On the other hand, the heritage-based practice of Ferragamo is also focused in investigating the role of technology in enabling immersive heritage experiences to expand customer engagement online and offline. Engagement is a key aspect of the relationship between heritage archive and knowledge creation that have a huge impact, in particular in the field of fashion retail, or more generally in places where the heritage of a brand can be performed and enjoyed by consumer, visitors, or users. Thanks to augmented and virtual reality, Ferragamo creates an immersive and deep learning experience for visitors in the corporate museum and consumer in the flagship store, allowing them to interact with archive, products, value, and giving users an exciting experience by merging digital content with tangible and real items. The last project designed by Ferragamo was Sustainable Thinking, an exhibition and now a virtual immersive experience that aimed to reflect on the theme of environmental sustainability in its complexity through a vision of art and fashion. The interest in fashion design for sustainability finds its root in the heritage of the brand expressed in a process of continuous experimentation, research of unusual materials, inventions and patents that univocally characterized the Ferragamo identity. In conjunction with this event, Ferragamo launched a re-edition of the iconic rainbow shoes that was designed in 1938 for the actress Judy Garland. Renamed as Rainbow Future, it aims at celebrating the connection between Made in Italy tradition in terms of craft know-how and manufacturing skills and the effort of the brand towards a sustainable development. In conclusion, the interpretation of heritage narratives through the material and symbolic components are now consolidated practices in companies. On the contrary, immersive digital experience is a paradigm that is establishing itself strongly in our contemporaneity. Therefore, I will leave you with a question that invites all of us to a much deeper reflection. How can heritage be preserved, enhanced, celebrated, and activated to continue in generating valuable content to be related to future behaviors and lifestyle?